the greatest, there is no debate.
Hello and welcome to episode 33 of Pacific Horseplayers right here on the HHH Racing Podcast. I am your host, Noah Meagher, joined by a pumped Ryan Anderson and an also pumped Jackson Muniz as he joins us from the car yet again. But we're very excited to bring you this episode. Of course, we're going to be covering the Santa Anita Late Pick 5, what's new on this show. But also, we just got word yesterday that we're going to have a special guest join us, and he's actually in the background right now. So we're going to get to that shortly. Of course, I got to take care of this, but I'll try to do it as quickly as possible. You can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Anchor. Those are our listening and audio platforms. So go listen there. Scrolling on the bottom of the screen is my email down there. You can see that. That's the Gmail. And then continuously it will show the regular schedule, Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays. But just hit the notification bell, hit the subscribe button, and you can keep updated with all of that good stuff. Power picks, of course, over 850 total picks. I need to update that. Howard, please don't kill me about that. But we got those going strong. I believe there were a couple winners last weekend for the Belmont Stakes Festival. That was a hell of a race day, and it was capped off by a really nice race that we're going to be talking about real shortly. So good weekend there. And then you can go find out more about this podcast and more information about us at our website, HHH Racing Podcast. .com. All right. I think that takes care of it. Let's go ahead and bring on our special guest. The last time we had him on was back in December. I think he was, getting off a plane or something. He was having some trouble with the AirPods, but it sounds like he's going to be loud and clear. We got a little test at the beginning. So let's go ahead and bring him on. He is the Met Mile winning trainer, Doug O'Neill. Doug, congratulations. How's it going?
Noah, thank you. It's going great. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, loud and clear. Loud and clear.
I love it. I'm good with this whole technology thing. Everything's going great. So pumped to be on your guys' show, and love the energy and the youthfulness. And let's go. I like this.
Yeah, Noah, when you introduced Doug, you forgot to include Shane's uncle in the title. I was
going to just mention that because it looks like he went ahead and added his own bio there. And I'm surprised he put the Shane's uncle part first. If it was me, I would have definitely maybe not even included that.
Believe I am so proud of being Shane's uncle. He's amazing. As you guys know, he loves you guys. So he's got a good judge of character. And no, Shane's great, and he's a huge help for me now too around the barn. So not only a great nephew, but a smart kid and great around the barn. That's for sure.
Sounds like he's busy because tried to get him on tonight, but he declined our offer. But anyways, I'll leave it up to Ryan and Jackson to ask a couple questions. I've got some questions of my own, but I'll let the boys on the right start us off.
Yeah, Doug, good to see you. I obviously was able to catch you right after the Met Mile victory there out at Saratoga. I just got back yesterday. Congrats again on the Grade 1 success. Yeah, how did Raging Torrent come out of it? And I'd imagine with the qualification to the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile, that might be the goal for the fall.
Yeah, Ryan. Yeah, great seeing you here, and it was awesome. What a great surprise seeing you there at Saratoga. So very cool.
You're not lying about that, Doug.
No, I swear to God, I was like, "What are you doing?" I thought it was a Ryan lookalike. I'm like, "Wait, that is Ryan. What are you doing over here? You're all over the place."
Yeah, but, I
know. Very, very cool. What were you doing there, by the way?
I went to go for the Belmont Stakes Festival, and I got to just enjoy the week out there. Until Shane texted me that you were in Saratoga for Raging Torrent, that was what got me to bet on the horse, by the way. Seeing you and the whole O'Neill team out there, I was like, okay, they didn't come out just for fun.
See, now you know why I put Shane first. Shane, I'm telling you, he knows his stuff. But no, Raging Torrent ran lights out, and he came out of it, thank God, came out of it in great shape. He actually flew to California today, so I haven't seen him yet, but he should be into Santa Anita tonight. And, the goal is the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile now, and, maybe a race in between now and then, but, we're just going to let him tell us.
I love it. Jackson,
you got the driver's seat for the next question.
Yeah.
Oh, nice little pun right there, huh? Nothing really Raging Torrent related. I love the horse. Super happy for you guys. I picked them too, so glad it worked out for everyone there.
Awesome.
I was talking with, I can't remember if these guys are my family, but as far as the Belmont goes, journalism versus sovereignty, the rivalry is starting to remind me a little bit of I'll Have Another and Bodemeister, where you have two just super exceptional horses that felt like they're just way better than everyone else. And I was wondering if you kind of felt the same way, where you have these just two superstars that, if they were born in separate years, you'd have arguably two Triple Crown winners right there.
I like that, Jackson. Yeah, it's interesting because they seem like sovereignty and journalism have similar styles, but journalism just always seems to be, trouble prone sovereignty just, he got such a dream trip the other day, but now they are two brilliant horses and two horses that I think if they stay injury free are going to be big time the rest of the year and next year. So as far as I'll have another and Bodemeister, that was a really cool rivalry, and neither one of them really went on and did much. Later on after we got hurt, of course, and Bodemeister, I don't know what ended up if he ended up having a 4-year-old campaign, but it is cool when you see. It was the exact same finish, right, in the Derby as it was in the Belmont. I mean, that's what a crazy event that is. So, talented horses, and sovereignty and journalism are, like you say, the two best 3-year-olds right now, and they're both their sizes and their connections and pedigrees. Everything says again, if they stay injury free, they're going to be fun to watch for the next year or two, hopefully.
Doug, going into the race, it seemed like everyone kind of knew what you guys are going to do, and that was to go straight to the lead. And Frankie did just that. He did a remarkable job of that. Obviously, you've had success with Frankie in the past. You guys won the Malibu together on opening day back on the day after Christmas. I want to know how little communication there was in terms of a game plan.
That's a good question, Noah, because honestly, in the paddock, that was something I thought we would be talking about. And Frankie quickly started off with, hey, we don't have to be on the lead. We don't have to be on the lead. I know this horse can sit. I was like, okay. And, you don't tell Frankie anything.
Yeah.
And, but I think he had in his mind, too, that he was going to bounce out of there, just not knowing if Fierceness was going to, really quarter horse out of there or not. But I think Frankie just thought the way that Unique start is and us being in the 5-hole that, he wanted to put in our head that there might be some, a plan B in play. But Frankie did just a wonderful job and just so grateful the way it all unfolded. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Question about Raging Torrent. You just mentioned, not too many instructions given to Dettori, but I texted Shane right afterward, and it was basically just how much of a different animal Raging Torrent seems to be when he's on the lead, because when he has another horse look him in the eye, he seems to just reject the idea of that horse going by. Obviously he can rate off the pace, but it seems like him on the lead, he's stubborn. He doesn't want to let anybody else pass him.
You're right, Ryan. And I think hopefully he's maturing a lot. And but early on, he was not crazy about a rider taking a hold of him or sitting in behind horses. So he's definitely got that high cruising speed. And if he can get out there comfortably, he's shown he's got the fight, like you say, when good horses eyeball him and he's had a free running first part of the race, he's tough as nails. And I'm just hoping he can, navigate a full 2 turns in the Breeders' Cup. That would be something that to really add to his resume for sure. So, but he's tough. When you think back to the Pat O'Brien last year with now I'm going to forget his name, Eric Rojak's horse.
Chosen Braun.
Chosen Braun.
Yeah. So, you get the likes of Chosen Braun and now Fierceness, eyeballing you. I think 99% of horses would be like, you go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. And so for him to dig down and find another gear really shows you the class and the talent he's got.
Jackson. Thank you, Doug. Jackson.
You got it.
Yeah, just the one thing you brought up was the 2 turns. Is that a question mark for you at all? Because he has tried it a couple times when he was younger. Yeah, he hadn't, he's not the same horse he was as a 2-year-old, obviously. But is that a concern at all? Like, is there any thought that maybe trying him in a race like the San Diego just to see if he could do it before, or are you just gonna kind of see what happens on the day of?
Yeah, no, that's a good question, Jackson. But I think early on, again, he was just so on the muscle and just kind of had that accelerator stuck mentality, and so it seems like he's dropped that a little bit. And but until they do it, it's always a concern. So I'd be lying if I said I wasn't concerned. But the fact it's in our backyard is huge, and I think timing wise, if we were to put another race in, the Pat O'Brien works out much better timing wise. So still going to huddle up with the owners, the representative for Yulong Stables, and then the representative for Great Friends. And, we said we'd talk in the next week or two and kind of make a plan. And then hopefully, again, Raging Torrent can stay injury free and fulfill our plan.
Ryan, go ahead.
I love it. Yeah. All right. Thank you for all that information on Raging Torrent. I got a couple others for you. One is regarding a couple of 2-year-olds you have debuting on Friday at Santa Anita. It's, to my memory, the first open 2-year-old races we're having out in California. You have a couple really interesting ones. Bella's Bro, who's by Yaupan, who's been very kind of precocious. And then Acknowledge Me, Please goes in the same race. That one's by Buchero. How are both of them coming along, and what do you kind of expect on debut? I know Bella's Bro is breaking from the rail, which is always difficult for those 2-year-old firsters.
Yeah, no, they're both really nice horses. Both have pedigrees to be nice horses, and I would say right now as we speak that Acknowledge Me Please is the better of the two, and he drew better as well. But Antonio Fresu's worked him numerous times. He's kind of like our young Dettori, not only Italian, but he's very talented. And, he's gotten off him pretty much every work. And I was like, God, this guy is special. And he's been pretty special to us from day one. So we're very optimistic. He can bring those morning workouts to the afternoon. And if he does, he's going to have a big chance. Bella's Bro on the rail. Yeah, he's still trying to figure it out. Like you say, Ryan, when we drew the rail, I was like, oh, God, that's not a huge help there. So I would say, keep a good eye on Bella's Bro, but I'd bet a few bucks on it. Acknowledge Me Please.
Okay. I like it. I will take that going into Saturday. Thank you.
Yep.
Look, do you have a 2-year-old filly that just ran last weekend? Was that in a?
Yeah, well, it's been a couple weeks ago that light one up. I think that's after one. Yeah.
Great name for being out in California.
Yeah, oh my God! Everywhere you turn, you're like, "What is going on?" And we got more fires going on here, but yeah. But she's a nice filly, daughter of City of Lights, and actually owned by the same connections, Mark Davis and Janie Buss, that own Acknowledge Me Please. So hopefully, with a big run Friday by Acknowledge Me Please, they'll have a nice filly and a nice colt. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I want to bring up this chat from this comment from our good friend Matt Miller. He says, Doug, I don't know if the name Doug Deems means anything to you, but Matt says he had the nicest things to say about you.
Wow. Must be a relative.
I'm not sure what that means, but
yeah,
must be a relative.
Ryan, I think you got one more question, and then
I do.
We can let him go.
2 of the 4 people on this screen. Oh, I guess 3 because he's in your barn as well, Doug. But Jackson and I are number 1 fans of that horse Rank that is in your barn. We're the leading members of the Rank fan club. He obviously just ran another good third in a stakes race. I texted Shane immediately after because we are in contact constantly whenever Rank is in the entry box or in the starting gate. So we're talking and we're waiting for him to break his maiden. We know the light bulb's going to turn on. Is he just a really tough horse to kind of figure out, just to kind of figure out in the mornings and everything, or because he's clearly got all the talent to hang with those, the heavy hitters like Gaming, who he just ran a close third to. So is it just a matter of kind of getting him over the hump somehow?
I think so, and he's been running pretty consistently, so I haven't had a chance to do a whole lot of different training with him, but maybe somewhere where once he breaks his maiden, we can try to work on separating himself from a workmate or something like that. But he's definitely prone to be kind of a pack animal. He loves to kind of just be with his buddies, I guess, if you will. So, but he's on his numbers are definitely getting better. He ran a 90 buyer the other day.
Yeah.
And he's run against he's run against journalism,
He's run against the best.
The best. So yeah, he's a cool horse that, it's almost like he's in Double A and he's played against all the guys in the bigs and played well with them, but he just hasn't gotten into that, major league uniform just yet. But hopefully the Los Al Derby is on the horizon. So it's usually a short field. Usually Bafford's got 3 of the 5, whatever. So we're going to try to, beat Bob and see if we can't shock the world and break his maiden in the Derby there.
I like it. He'll be on my tickets. We're always rooting for Rank to break through.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
Jackson, you got one more? I got one more.
Go ahead, Noah.
All right, so obviously you mentioned Antonio Fresu, you mentioned Frankie Dettori. You used Mario when he was around and then moved his tack out to Kentucky. I guess my question is, have you ever thought about using Armando Ayuso?
Man, yeah. Wow, that was a weird little segue there. Know how you linked all those guys. But no, you're obviously a fan of Armando Ayuso.
Oh, I love him.
Yeah, he's such a good kid. He's a great human being, and B, he's a hard worker, and C, he's a talented rider. So 100%. And I've tried a couple times lately, and he's already had mounts, but yeah, I'm a fan of his big time. So I think he would, on the right horse, he could, beat any of those three guys you just mentioned.
Yeah, me too.
Yep. And you get a good price. You still get a good price too. I like that.
Oh yeah.
You do. People love to overlook him. One more potential jockey that Shane may have mentioned to you is our host of this show. He's been trying to get his foot in the ring, be an exercise rider. Shane has said that Noah's got a lot of promise. Any chance Noah's going to get him out for you?
What now? I heard you rode quarter horses, but I thought it was the horse in front of the supermarket you put quarters in. Now who's the exercise rider here? Is that you, Noah?
Apparently, I don't. I've been compared to some of the Asmussens of the world. I don't know how this.
You look like actually Eric Johnson. You look a lookalike for Eric Johnson, a hockey guy.
Oh,
that's what I thought you were. Yeah. So
yeah, I know you. Are you going to be owning some of his horses in the summer?
I hope he's got a horse, an Uncle Mo filly he bought named Striver, that we're supposed to run the first week at Del Mar. So keep an eye on her. Maybe I'll try to get a Yuso on her.
Oh, I would love that.
Let's go.
I would empty my bank account.
Oh, no. You can borrow money from Ryan and Jackson if it doesn't work.
Yeah,
there we go.
We'll have to pool our money together. Jackson, you got anything?
No, I mean, you just brought up Del Mar really quickly. Is that like a meet that you and your clients are always pointing towards, whether it's, saving horses for specific conditions or trying to take advantage of, whether chip and win or whatever it is? That's just something you're always targeting, is that Del Mar summer meet?
100%. Back in the day when we had Hollywood Park, you'd have a crappy Hollywood Park meet. It was two and a half months, but then you always had to look forward to Santa Anita. But now with Santa Anita being such a long run, it gets a little, I love Santa Anita. It's so beautiful and it's great. But it does get to where you're eager to just restart and go down to Del Mar. So yeah, July 18th is definitely like January 1st. It's like a fresh new time, and the eye candy is good for the men and women down there. Everyone looks good down there in Del Mar, and the purses are strong. It's just near the beach. It's a wonderful change of venues for a few months. So really looking forward to it.
I know all four of us are definitely looking forward to it. Doug, appreciate your time. Always a pleasure to have you on the show, and you're loud and clear this time. So very
no AirPod issues. I love it.
Thanks for coming on. Give Shane a hard time for me. Yeah.
That's easy to do. We'll do. All right, you guys. Thanks for having me. Take care. See you at the track. All right, man. See you. Bye-bye.
Doug O'Neill, what a character.
Love that guy.
This comment right here just sums it up. Loving the show. We always have to have a good time here and love to joke around and good stuff like that. So
he's for the people, Doug O'Neill.
Oh yeah.
His whole training crew. I don't know if you guys managed to see the I think ABR filmed a video of Leandro Mora and the other assistants reaction when he won the Met Mile. They were going crazy. It was an absolute party in that winner's circle. But
that was pretty cool.
Party and Doug are pretty synonymous at this point.
I just forgot to ask Doug if he did a lot of partying. I was going to ask how the hangover was. It's all right.
If he ever goes to Reds, maybe he'll hang out with us at Reds.
What's Reds?
Red Tractons.
This guy stinks.
What are you, rookie?
This guy, he's the worst.
Come on, bro. We celebrated your 24th birthday there.
That's a story for another time. Anyway.
Oh yeah.
Let's go on to let's get into the handicapping portion. Let me move some things around here. Let me go ahead and
Shane with another funny comment in there.
What'd he say? There he Great question. Where the hell are you, Shane? I want to handicap some cards with you. Go ahead and get this up.
That's awesome.
There is the Equibase, I believe. And there it is. Starts at race 8. They got a 12 race card on Saturday. Closing day is on Sunday. I don't know if that card's out yet, but I'm sure there'll probably be 11 or 12 that day as well. Pick 5 sequence starts in race 8. It's 4:00 local. Starts with a 6 furlong turf sprint, claiming $32,000. You got a field of 7. And of course, because it is Tuesday, we do not have morning lines or numbers in the program. But if I had to choose a morning line favorite, I would probably go to the inside with the 1 Noble Reflection. For a guy that it sounds like Doug O'Neill is going to use a little more often than Armando Ayuso in Librado Barocchio. Let's see who we are going with. Let me get the picks up on the screen right now. There they are. I'm going 2-1-4. Ryan's going 7-1-2, and Jackson is going 1-4-2. Let's go with Ryan, because even though the morning lines aren't out, I'm assuming that this horse is going to be a bit of a price. He's going with the 7 Osage Creek for Escobedo and Hansen.
Yeah, the 2 main speeds are, pretty much bookending this field with the 1 Noble Reflection and then the 7, my top choice, Osage Creek. This one's definitely stepping up in class, but is going the right way. Is 2 for 2 since trying the turf this year. I think it's just in a really good vein of form, so I don't see why a step up isn't in the cards. I've kind of seen enough of Noble Reflection, honestly. Definitely the horse to beat. We all have that one in our top 3 somewhere as that one keeps dropping down the class ladder. But yeah, I want to give a look to Osage Creek. Escobedo and Ryan Hansen team up with a lot of success and have done so this fall, winter, and spring at Santa Anita. So yeah, I wanted to give this one a strong look on top.
And maybe he's just, getting good at the right time. The last 2 times, he got the lead and won well. 2 back was with the 77, then stepped it up, upset at 14-1, and came back with an 85. So I guess there's really no reason for him to maybe improve, unless, Jackson, you think that maybe just the 1 is faster. You've got him on top. Ryan's sick of him, but you are not, good sir.
Yeah, this was I really wanted to pick a price in this race just because I don't hate this pick at all. I mean, if he's the other speed, if the 1 doesn't break, this horse is loose as loose can be. I mean, he's going to be well in front. I just think the 1 is just a better animal at this point, coming out of much better races. If I'm not mistaken, he scratched a few weeks ago, but he comes back here still in for 32, which isn't, massive class drop. I just think he's the best horse. He's the fastest out of the gate. I know he got beat a couple times lately, but Yakovlev, I think, has won like 4 or 5 in a row. I mean, that was no shame in losing that horse, running second to that horse. The race before that, he lost to Tom Horn, who came back and did a lot of good things. The race before that, completely fell apart against way, way better animals. Just feels like he's in the right spot here. He's probably supposed to win this thing as long as he breaks. And I don't want to spend too much money trying to beat him in this spot.
Yeah, and you mentioned I actually took a look at the scratch board, which I won't bring up, but I think he was entering a stake, I believe, a couple weeks ago, and then they enter him here for 32, which I guess could be a concern. I know they don't write a ton of these races in terms of like conditions, so if you're I could probably look closer at the condition book, but I guess that could be a minor concern. And then the other one, I guess, if you're trying to beat him, is he had to work on May 3rd. Excuse you, Ryan. And he had to work on May 3rd, which looked good. It was 48 flat, and then he didn't have another work for over a month, June 5th on the bottom. But then again, you kind of look at these other works, and there are some gaps, and he had one on January 18th, and then he had 3 consecutive races after that. So just maybe some minor holes to poke in possibly your morning line favorite in the number 1 Noble Reflection. Let's go to some others. I'm going to go back to you, Jackson. You've got the 4 Sharp as Attack, who is 3rd off the layoff. He's one that maybe I'm a little bit sick of, but probably in terms of price, you're going to get a decent one here.
Yeah, probably. I mean, the Mullins Barnes cooled off a little bit. I mean, they didn't lose the winter meet. They were on fire. Still winning at 14%, which is very respectable. But this feels like the horse that if they go a little too fast, the 1 and the 7 hook up and they go really quick, this one's going to get the jump on the deeper closers. Sharp as Attack. I know the time point number says 64. I don't think that's right. Just looking at what he's done, how close he usually is to the pace, that feels like it's just a mistake at this early in the week. Yeah. So I think he'll get the jump on these deeper closers. He'll be right there. He's got numbers that make him pretty competitive. He's got the 87 buyer. That's pretty much what Noble Reflection's been running lately. But I just think Noble Reflection has more class than this horse does at this point.
Yeah, I think you're right. The time form's not quite right because he was ahead of the 2, and he's got a 64, and the 2's got a 79. So
sometimes early in the week they're a little funky. So
yeah. I'd be surprised if that was not wrong. But what makes Sammy run? I've got him on top. It looks like all 3 of us have him in the mix. You guys both have him in third. So obviously respect him. Didn't break great last time and was a little bit wide and then closed okay. I was kind of going back and forth. I didn't really know which one to believe, whether his races at 6 were better or at 6.5. I think he's just, dually as dangerous at both. So I think he's going to come with his run if the 1 and the 7 duel can set up for some others, and hopefully he's one that's going to be running late. So that was the only other one that I wanted to mention, but we can go ahead and move on as we are almost 30 minutes into the show. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll go ahead and move on to race 9. And normally I, read those again, but I think I'm actually going to do it without reading those. So let's see if we can transition to the next race real quickly. And that is not the right tab.
Nope. Come on, host.
There we go. Hey, I'm working with one. Okay. Race 9. It is actually a pretty loaded maiden special weight race that we're going to be talking about. $60,000 purse. It is 7 furlongs on the main track. You've got 3 and 4-year-old boys. You actually got a 5-year-old, a first-time starter, I know, breaking from post 7. And the morning line favorite, I would be very surprised if it wasn't the number 4, Sierra Silver, the New York bred for Juan Hernandez and Bob Baffert. Let's see if we are going with that horse or if we are trying to beat the chalk. And, of course, these two guys are trying to go with the chalk, but I'm trying to beat the chalk, as I normally do, and these guys try to tell me about it. But
debatable.
Yeah, very debatable.
I'm going 3-1-4.
Come on, bro.
Ryan's going 4-7-1, and Jackson is going 4-1-8. Jackson likes to talk a lot of crap, so he's going to start us off with a horse that I think is going to be about 3-5 in the number 4 Sierra Silver.
Yeah, he probably will be about 3-5. I thought he couldn't lose last time, and he cost me a lot of money when he did. Just seemed like watching that replay back. I mean, the only reason he lost that race was because he was going to get into a duel with the Baffert horse, and the other Baffert horse had maybe a neck in front. So JJ kind of took back and conceded the lead, and that was kind of it. He came with his run late, just didn't quite get there, and still got a 95 buyer. I mean, I don't see any reason why he can't replicate that. He looks phenomenal in the mornings. He comes out of probably the most live maiden race of the entire meet on April 6th. I mean, he's been facing some legit horses, and I know there's some tough horses in this maiden group too, but he's just supposed to win this thing. He's going to go to the front. The other Baffert in this race doesn't seem nearly as talented as Southern Gentleman was coming out of the last race. He seems like he's very tough to beat in here. And again, another one I'm not really trying to spend too much money trying to beat.
Yeah, Ryan, I guess the main concern for me, and maybe I'm being a little disrespectful having him at third, because I would not be shocked at all if he won this race. I don't know if he's going to love 7 just based off of what I've seen. But just talent wise, I think if you're playing a sequence, you either use or toss, right?
I mean, yeah, you either use or toss, but I would say that 7's probably going to be his most preferred, at least up till now. I think the stretch out's going to help him. Yeah, Jackson was right last time. Just ran into a faster Baffert. That's going to happen. That horse got a 98. We'll see that horse in the summer at Del Mar, probably without a doubt. But this horse has done nothing wrong his 2 starts. He's just run to better horses, goal-oriented, very talented horse. And then, of course, we just talked about Southern Gentleman. So I think this Saturday's the day. I know we're picking chalk, but I think this is a single you can take and just kind of move on from.
And I believe Train the Trainer won last weekend because he's a winner now. Yeah, he's a New York bred also, and it was one of those stakes on Wednesday that we didn't cover?
Yeah, it was the New York Stallion Stakes.
Yeah, he went wire to wire. Goal-oriented got 4th in the Preakness. I mean, that was. I think every horse coming out of the race was won. It was super.
All but the last place. Yeah, very very live.
Very good race, and 95 is going to be, or 95 buyer, excuse me, is going to be pretty tough to beat. Let's go to some others. We'll go back to you, Jackson, because we've all got this horse in the mix. It's a number 1 Cheever who ran 3rd behind Sierra Silver when he ran 2nd, and I think is one that if anybody's going to appreciate some distance, I feel like it's going to be this colt.
Yeah, he ran fine last time. I mean, it was his debut. He got an okay setup in there. He came with his run. Just wasn't quite as good as the top 2, but no shame in that effort. The problem I have is the rail is a little tricky against a good field. I mean, he's got to work out a trip from there. Yep. Also, I disagree with Noah a little bit. Sierra Silver was pulling away from this horse pretty readily in the final stages. Now, this horse could, improve again with second start, but I do think Sierra Silver is one that is also going to appreciate more ground, so that kind of, cancels out there. I don't blame anyone that's going to take his horse. He's obviously very, very talented. I just think there's one in here that's a little bit better and has a tactical edge over him.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good point. I have a feeling you might even see this horse go in 2 turns on the turf come Del Mar. That would not shock me at all because it's just based off the breeding and just kind of how he runs, and he was climbing last time. I just feel like that could be a good kind of race and setup for him. Let's go to the 7. That was the 5-year-old first time starter that I had mentioned. Ryan, you've got him in second. He's got some very quick workouts in the morning, and he's got a very good guy on top of him. I'm sure that was something that you keyed in on.
Yeah, no, gotta pause on that one. Look, this is a 5-year-old making their debut. He cost $240K. He's going to debut as a gelding. They've obviously had a lot of issues getting this horse to the track. Finally looks healthy enough. This horse, in all of his training, you can look at all of his works. They go back to 2022. They're all pretty quick. This horse clearly has some ability. It's just taken them a while. I want to get a little bit creative underneath. Obviously, you see he's carrying 126. I don't think you can really get to the 4 and the 1 in here. I think they're both kind of proven to be very good horses, even with the just 1 and 2 starts respectively. Goodness. But I want to give this one a shot. First time starter, going to be going 7, which is tough. But as a 5-year-old, I mean, he should be, fully mature, you'd hope. So that Urton and Ayuso team up, they're at 42%, nearly a $15 ROI. So, hey, I'll take a shot at this one underneath. But again, it's probably going to be a single of Sierra Silver on top for me.
Yeah, and sometimes we mention the 4-year-olds and the 5-year-olds when they debut, and it takes so long for them to kind of get onto the racetrack could be a negative. But I think at I can't remember what day it was, but at Saratoga there was a debut 4-year-old who just blew the doors off of a field and was a big price. And they were talking to the trainer afterwards, and they were just saying, she had like hiccup after hiccup, and we were just kind of waiting. But we knew he had some talent. So just based off the works, from what you've seen, just very quick, and it looks like maybe that could be the same situation here with the number 7 Reno. So yeah, certainly not going to talk you off with the jockey, that's for sure.
Yeah, right. And should be noted, every member of the female family is a winner. So maybe not on debut, but eventually this one could get to the winner's circle.
No, it's good to know. Good progeny. I'm going with the number 3 Penalty Box. I feel like that's only fitting in a pretty aptly named horse with the Stanley Cup playoffs that we got going on. I don't remember is there a game tonight? There was one last night.
They played last night. Yeah.
Last night. Yeah, I think Florida won pretty handily. But anyway, Penalty Box was in the same maiden race as Sierra Silver and the 1, and just did absolutely no running at all. But he actually took a decent amount of money. He was 9-2. I think Sierra Silver was 4-5. Southern Gentleman was about 7-2 or 4-1. So he was with 2 Baffords in a race. He was bet pretty heavily. So it kind of seemed like somebody knew something. And even the works before that, were really good. He just didn't fire at all. I'm hoping that the blinkers coming on is going to turn him around. I've seen his works in the morning. They look really good. I mean, maybe he's just a morning horse, but McCarthy's got good numbers second off the bench. And I even went to the extent of looking with second-time starters with Kyle Frey, and I think he's like 19%. I know it's not a big sample size, but I just think there's a lot of things to like. And the Sierra Silver is going to take a lot of money. Maybe the other Baffert will take some money. I feel like you're just going to get too big of a price here on Penalty Box to pass up just because he ran so bad last time. But I just think with the public liked him last time. He's got blinkers on. He's shown ability in the mornings. I'm going to take a shot with him, and hopefully I can get 8-1-ish. I would have a hard time believing he's going to be higher than that just based off the connections and what he's done in the morning. So I'm going to take a shot with the number 3 Penalty Box, who you might hear about a little bit later when we get to best bets. Let's go to the last horse that we need to touch on. This is another first-time starter. You've got 2 first-time starters to the outside. This is the 8, Lorenzo Bernini. Jackson, you've got this colt by Authentic in 3rd.
Yeah, just to add a Penalty Box real quick. He still won it. I said I would get him next time. I still have my eye on him. I think 2 turns is what he really wants, so I'm going to get him at Del Mar. Yeah. And then this was another one I don't think can win today, but I think is one I'm going to be waiting for next time, where this barn just... Am I gone? I'm back.
There we go.
Oh, that was weird. This barn's usually better second time out. Turf, a lot of turfy pedigree. It just feels like it's going to be a prep for a Del Mar turf race. This is a horse that's half to Arzak. They get Rispoli here, probably just come ride him in the debut race, get you back on the turf, and they paid a lot of money for him. So I think this is a pretty talented one.
Yeah, like I said at the beginning of when we were talking about this race, I think this is going to be a pretty good race down the line. So good maiden race there. We'll go ahead and move on to race 10, and let me get that up on the screen now. There we go. No issues there. Race 10 is the Daytona Stakes. It is a grade 3. They've actually got 2 stakes on the card on Saturday. I know they've got one earlier on in the day. I believe it is race 6, but that might not be correct. I know that's
no, you got it.
A short field mile and a quarter race, which we're not going to be talking about. But this is, basically the feature on the card. Daytona Stakes grade 3, $100,000 purse is 6.5 furlongs on the downhill turf course. And we've got a big name, a horse that was second in the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint last year, and then number 7, Notorious, 7-year-old gelding for Fresu and D'Amato, who I assume, actually, you know what? I don't have to assume because I know they're up. I'll find those real quickly and share those, but we can go ahead and start talking about the horses while I do that. And this is a race I am chalking out, and the other 2 are not. So interestingly enough, I'm going 6-2-3. Ryan's going 7-6-3. I made a mistake. I'm supposed to be 7-2-3. Ryan's 7-6-3, and Jackson is 3-8-1.
Oh, so you did.
I was gonna say somebody definitely messed up with the numbers, either you or me.
Yeah, I definitely messed that up. Let's go to Ryan. Talk about this favorite, who actually I believe this horse won last time, but just looks. I think he's gonna be really tough. Jackson maybe not, but what'd you like about this one?
Yeah, won December 28th in the Grade 2 Hernandez, going down the hill. This horse does everything right. You can't fault this horse for losing in the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint to the best sprinter in the country in Starlust. So, I mean, would have been the winner of 3 straight coming in here. But either way, this is a horse that just does everything right. I mean, this one's so professional, can fire off the layoff, can fire when, has some races under this one's belt. You'd have to imagine this is a prep to go right back in the Green Flash Stakes this summer at Del Mar to try and make it, I believe, 3 in a row, if I'm reading that correctly. He's trying to go 3 straight in the Green Flash Stakes at Del Mar, but from the sharp 5 furlongs at Del Mar to handling down the hill and for never really, for always making his own trip, a horse I respect and a horse that always kind of fires his A effort. So definitely one I want to use and a strong A for me in the sequence.
Yeah, maybe Jackson, we can get some of your thoughts because you do not have him in the mix unless I made another mistake. But let's go through the field real quick. I do have the morning lines. You got Air Force Red at 8-1. Bran is 9-2. Goliath is 7-2. Daniel's Magic is 30-1. Stay Hot is 6-1. Lovesick Blues 10-1. Notorious 6-5, and Watsonville 30-1. So you're completely tossing 6-5, Jackson. I love it. Sell us on it.
Yeah, I just don't know if this is necessarily his best distance. I mean, this is very different than the flat 5 down at Del Mar, which I do think he's best at. And he's facing some legit horses. I mean, this is a very different field than facing the likes of Sumter and Iredio. I mean, those are solid older horses, but they're not nearly as good, I think, as a couple of horses in this field, especially my top pick, who we're going to talk about in a minute.
Well, let's go ahead and lead you in. A horse that isn't really hasn't done this a whole lot. More of a miler. You can see his last 9 or 10 starts he's been miling, but he's been doing against some of the best milers that we've seen in the country and on the West Coast. So coming out of the Shoemaker Mile, cutting back to the 6.5. Obviously, that's something that you keyed in on, Jackson.
Yeah, I think the 6.5 down the hill is going to hit him right between the eyes when we saw what he did at Kentucky Downs. And I know those races were a mile, but they play similarly to this configuration. God, this horse is quick. I mean, he just sends it every single time he opens up on the field and he tries to take them all the way, and that's what he's going to do against this group. And for a turf sprint, there's really not that much other speed in here, man. I guess Air Force Red is kind of fast, but lately he's kind of been sitting off the pace. And who else do you have to fear? I mean, this horse is going to be in front. You can make a case he's right up there as the class of the field. Last time I know it's a grade 1 race. It was a total prep. I mean, he was just so dead on the board. You knew right away when he was taking, I think he was like 3-1 on the morning line, and he was 9-10-1 the whole time. You knew he wasn't winning that race. You knew that was kind of just a prep, get him to this spot. And I think, and this is the day I want him. It's going to be 7-2, 3-1, 7-2 morning line. I would take 3-1, 5-2 even. I just think he's going to be very, very tough to catch. He's going to be alone on the lead, and they're going to have to run him down. And now that he's got that race under his belt, he's going to be awfully, awfully tough.
And we talked about a horse on our show, I believe it was last week for the Wednesday card, and Spinning Colors, who we kind of didn't think necessarily classed up, but just on paper looked like the lone speed. This horse is the lone speed, and he certainly classes up. I mean, look at some of the races that he's been in. So I feel like he's one that you got to use on the ticket. Obviously, it looks like Ryan and I agree. Ryan's got him third. I've also got him third. Ryan, let's talk about the horse that you've got in second, and that's actually the 6. Lovesick Blues. I know this is a horse that is dear to your heart. Almost got the job done in the San Simeon at 27-1, and finally got to the winners last time, but that was at 2-1.
Yeah, the price that we've gotten on that horse has slowly gone down. This is one I definitely want to use underneath, but one I think that has a chance to spring a bit of an upset. I don't know who's going to go with Goliad early. The only thing I can think of is, maybe I don't know. He's going to be tough to beat as well. I'm with Jackson. I couldn't get too far off of Goliad. Just try to get a little cute with Lovesick Blues. Just in a good vein of form right now. Clearly enjoys going down the hill. And it's just, the horse in the right kind of form that you want in here. Could spring a bit of an upset, and we'll get better than 2-1 this time. So I'll take a bit of a shot with that runner.
I think I said 10-1 on the line, which I feel like it's got to go down. I mean, good, a nice winner last time, and has outran his odds in the last 2 after that long layoff. So I'd be looking for him to sit a really good trip, kind of just off the speed. And another horse that I think is going to kind of sit that similar trip and hopefully not let Jackson's 3 Goliad get too far away is the number 2 Brand. I think I said he was 9-2 on the line. He got to the lead last time, but he's not going to do that today. I think he's going to sit more of a stalking trip, maybe a length or 2 off. He's had a little bit of success down the hill, as you can see way back when in May of 2022, he actually won this race as the even money favorite. And it may be a little concerning that he's only run 4 times since September of 2022, but some of those races are, pretty good. If you look, he was second in the Eddie D, and then they stretched him out to a mile, and he actually won as a little bit of an overlay at Del Mar, and then he was off for a little while. And I don't really see why there's no reason to believe that he kind of needed that race last time. And he kind of did the dirty work on the front end as the favorite. So I think it's a good sign that Rispoli hops on. Sadler's firing on all cylinders right now, 16 for 57 at 28%. It just seems like a logical upsetter if Motorius just doesn't fire his best stuff. So I've got him in second. And if I'm playing the pick 5, I'm definitely going to use him in some capacity. Jackson, you've got this one third, Air Force Red. You mentioned him a little bit earlier. Is this one that you're going to be using, or just kind of a third horse?
If I play horizontal, or if I play verticals, I will be using, because he's a down the hill specialist. He does very well his configuration. The only poor race was the Hernandez, where he had a lot of trouble. So that's kind of what he wants to do at this point in his career. And he could get a really good trip in here too. I know he's gone the rail, but he's tactical enough to keep the leader in his sights. He might be the second fastest horse in the race. So maybe they just merry-go-round around there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's got my guy on. I love it. We'll go ahead and move on to the next race, and let me get that up on the screen real quick. Hit share tab and then throw it up. There we go. Race 11. It is quite the change in quality. We went from a grade 3 to a $5,000 claimer. And boy, I thought this was a tough race to run it for a purse of $15,000. It is 1 mile on the main track, and we've got a field of 10 with 1 also eligible in the 11 quality cat. Unfortunately, my guy is not in the body of the field, but in the body of the field, we do have a field of 10. And the morning line favorite,
does have
I think, could be split between a couple horses. I could see the 7 American Empire being the favorite. I could see the 9 JB Books being the favorite. If I had to guess, it would probably be one of those 2. And let's get our picks up to see who we are going with. And it looks like we also think that this is a very difficult race. I'm going 9-2-6. Ryan's going 5-3-8, and Jackson is going 6-9-10. So we've got, I believe, quick math, 7 horses that we're going to be talking about here in this very difficult $5,000 claimer. Let's go back to Jackson. You've got the number 6 big bet, and maybe you can enlighten us on how big of a bet that will be on Saturday.
Probably not too big on this race. I had a tough time with it. I don't mind these lower division races. I just thought it was a very contentious one, and not one I really wanted to lean on anyone too heavily in here. I am going to big bet from post 6. My read on this race is there wasn't a whole lot of early speed. for such a large field, and he feels like one that's going to be forward. He's going to have every chance in this spot because I don't think the pace will be too quick. He'll be up there. He's a little slower than I would like on figures, but I just think the trip is what I'm going to try to rely on here. I'm very curious to see the price on him because I agree with you. I think the 9 probably will be favored, and then the 7, and then after that, I have no clue. I mean, they all kind of look very similar to me. So hopefully you get a decent price on Big Bet, and hopefully he's forwardly placed in the spot and can have a chance when they come for home.
Ralph, I just actually checked that. I think you are right, but I think DRF is wrong because it does say pick 5 starting in the 7th, but
Yeah.
there's really no reason for me to believe that it would start in the 7th.
I think what it is that I think they added race 12, seeing as they had enough entries and because it's closing weekend. I think they added that on. I think it was only supposed to be 11 and 11, but we have 12 Saturday and Sunday, so I think that might have been it. So it might have just been in their like in the program. We're only going to card 11, but they carded 12, so now that'll be updated. Race 8 will start the late pick 5. Yeah. I would imagine by the time the day rolls around. But that's a good point for Ralph to bring up because that's certainly confusing from a bettor's perspective.
Yeah, no, thank you, Ralph. We really appreciate that. That is the I believe that will be the second DRF error. Maybe we'll have to call up our boy Gino Bacola to figure out what's going on. He was on, DRF was down, and now we got some issues. I guess we need to maybe shake our fist at that guy. But anyway, let's move on to another horse. Let's go to the 5. I believe this is the 5. Devil in the Bluegrass. Yeah. That's not me because I'm an angel in the Bluegrass. But Ryan, you got this one on top. I think is going to be a bit of a price too. I mean, has been running some nice races just at this level, and another good one just puts him right there.
Yeah, look, this is certainly not a race that the late pick 5 would be a headache to get through this race, but this one's at least been consistent in his last couple versus this kind of company. Last time was a bit of a step up than what he's facing today. He ran a good second behind Trinidad. I just think the cutback makes a lot of sense. He's one that has proven to close from off the pace. Drew the rail in the last 2. I don't think that's a huge advantage or disadvantage going the mile at Santa Anita. Drew decent today. Should just sit right off or right behind anybody that goes to the lead, and I'm just hoping to get a shot as they turn from home. But I'd be very spready in this race in my late pick 5.
Jackson, I forgot to actually mention when you were talking about Big Bet, 2 back, he lost to Bronco Nagurski, who somebody had on top the show that we did 2 weeks ago. I can't remember who it was, and
I think I missed that one. I don't remember.
Yeah, if my memory serves me correct, I think there was a member of the someone on the screen that wasn't there that day. But anyways, that was me. You got him on top, of course. But yeah, I think the 5's got a big shot, as do many others. Let's talk about some more of the 7 that we've got on task. Let's go to the 9. I have to assume the 9's probably going to be the morning line favorite, and that isn't a great look for me because I've got the 9 on top. But I'm going to let Jackson talk about why he likes his horse dropping in from an N1X level to a $5,000 claimer.
Yeah, you kind of mentioned it right there. He's definitely the class of the field. He's been facing way better. Even before the turf race, he's facing tougher horses than this and running well. I mean, those are not easy races. Did okay in those spots. He's got the fastest numbers for sure. If you look at all his dirt numbers, I mean, look at the last 5 dirt numbers, all of those numbers. I mean, the 61's the slowest one he has, and that's faster than a lot of these in this race. And all the other 4 are the fastest in this group. The problem for me is he's just a 1-run deep closer, and I mentioned the lack of speed in this race. So he's going to have to overcome that, but he's definitely the horse to beat, I think.
Yeah, and I feel like, maybe with the sprint last time being a little too short and just better level, that's, by default, he was kind of that far back. If you look at the race 2 back, that was one of the better races that I've seen for some of these lower level claimers. I mean, I think it was Kingmeister, Zimba Warrior, Navu, Druidic. I think there was one other, it might have been Aurelian Man, who at one point were running like consistent 80 buyers. Right. So, I mean, that was a pretty good field. And obviously you can tell he wasn't really heavily back that day just because it was such a nice race, but ran a good 3rd. And it just seems like if he runs back to that, I think he's gonna be pretty tough. And it's kind of the main reason why I've got him on top. I guess the speed may be a concern, but he's maybe been closer before, and hopefully that talent and the drop just kind of puts him in the right spot. I had the picks off of the screen for a little bit, and that's because we had a co-host fail from our guy Ryan, who actually had the 9 in third. I don't know why he wanted to throw the chalk in there, but he's got the 9 in third. So we've all
because I didn't think Chief Jackson had much of a shot. And yeah, I mean,
I do.
No,
just for the solid nameplay, I'll give you that much. But no, JB Brooks.
My dog's name is Chief. I have to bet him. Like if I don't have $2 on him at 50-1, I'm gonna get killed.
Yeah, you will get killed. Correct. I mean, nothing to say on JB Brooks that you guys didn't just say. Class of the field, but on a drop down like this, I mean, he's gonna make his one run, but you're gonna take a short price on a horse that still has something to prove in terms of being able to close going that mile.
Yeah, I think that's a legit concern, but you're going to have some pretty big concerns, I would think, in a decent amount of runners in this field. Yeah. Ryan, you've got the 3 in second. You were wrong about third, but you're right about second. Yeah. And no thirds, no seconds. This one actually got first last time as the even money favorite at similar level. I guess maybe the worry would be that he's getting claimed away from a very hot trainer like Jeff Mullins. But Javier Sierra, limited stock, has done pretty well, and he gets the no longer bug boy on top.
Yeah. So, I mean, Carmona's been riding great, whether with the bug or without. I just thought this one made a bit of sense. Has the same run line or same running style, I should say, as the 9 JB Brooks. Just obviously a little lighter on the figures, but certainly has some back numbers to get back to where this one's been a little bit closer up. Those were the Pleasanton races. This is now the Pleasanton South races, if you listen to Kurt Hoover. But, I mean, I thought Brother O'Brien maybe had a bit of a shot to factor in the trifecta. He's at least a little bit consistent. He also just has, like, one run to make. But, if this thing comes down to horses kind of staggering for home, I know Brother O'Brien and JB Brooks will be 1-2. So I'll have them underneath.
He's going to be running late for sure. Horse to his inside I've got in the mix is kind of the similar style where he's going to be 1, hopefully, if maybe some others see that there's not a ton of speed and then they go and try and keep things up. I take a quick look at Sugar Beats, the 2 for Manny Badia, and gets a rider upgrade to Tiago Pereira, who's this horse has run some decent races before. You've got 2 races at Santa Anita, but the 1-2 back, the horse that he lost to came back and won and just had a disastrous trip. And then last time, second place horse came back and won, and he was just super wide on both turns. So I think there are some excuses that you can give the number 2, and you can see he's got 23 out of 46, so exactly 50% of his races are on the money. So I think you should give him a long look.
And then good job.
Jackson also doesn't think that you should give Chief Jackson a look, but he thinks that you should give the 10 Upstart Yankee a look. Bill McLean and another rider upgrade to Kazushi Kimura.
Yeah, I have Chief Jackson in 4th, by the way. I have mentioned the lack of speed in here. Back in his prime, he was very, very quick. And he hasn't been that great as of late, but he's been taken way off the pace. Now he switches to Kimura, who's not been afraid to be too aggressive in spots like this. So that's kind of hope with this horse. They're just super aggressive with him. They get him forwardly placed. And you look, I mean, this horse won at Del Mar last summer against a way better group. He's got numbers that should win this race. It's just a matter of, is he still the same horse? And the bear form would indicate no, but if he can get forwardly placed in this spot, I won't be surprised if he can run a big one.
Seems like somebody, if one of the droppers doesn't run big or kind of just runs down to the level, it seems like, one of the few we mentioned, the 2, the 3, the 5, the 6, the 10, could be any one of those runners that get the job done. So tough race that we just talked about. And we're going to go ahead and move into the last race. Let me get that up on the screen. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. Now you can. Race 12. It is main special weight rate is for Calbred 3 and 4-year-old fillies. It is 1 mile on the turf. Hold on.
Good thing this race is a lot easier, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. This was quite the difficult race in its own right, as well as we've got the very difficult $5 minimum daily double. You see the picks on the bottom of the screen. I'm going 10, 11, 12. Ryan's going 8, 12, 11. And Jackson is going 11, 4, 10. But wait a minute. Jackson's got a 4th horse on there. He's got the 2 in 4th somehow. So we're actually going to, give Jackson the floor. Seems like he really wants to talk about this race. And it sounds like he's going to start with the number 11, Severe Clear for Pereira and Peterson. So Jackson, you got the floor. Take as long as you need.
Wow. I'm about to talk about all of them. Or should I go one at a time? I'll start with the 11. Look, this is a really tough race. I really want to see the morning line for this one because I have absolutely no idea. It could go a million different directions. I am definitely against the 1. I'm definitely against the Craig Lewis horse, whatever number he is. Those are the 2 I think will take the most money. I'm against both. I do like the 11 in this spot. That's for Dean Peterson. I just thought this horse took a lot of money on debut, and watching that replay, she was super green. I mean, she found herself, she was all over the track, she was wide, and then just couldn't really figure anything out. And then she still galloped out pretty good. I thought she still had a lot of run in there. I'm hoping with that start under her belt, she'll be able to move forward. I do think the added ground is going to do her a lot of good. Now, there's definitely hurdles to overcome. She has to overcome that greenness. She has to overcome this post, but I think she's one that's very interesting in a race that just looks completely wide open.
Yeah, and I had the pleasure of I believe I was watching FanDuel TV when she ran that day, and they interviewed Dean in the paddock about 4 or 5 minutes before the race, and he flat out just said she needs one and she needs longer, and she was just getting bet so heavily on the board just based off of talent alone and what people had kind of seen in the mornings, and just didn't really fire. I think it's kind of the same angle with Penalty Box, where some talent's there and the public knew some talent was there, but she just didn't run. But I expect bigger things on Saturday, and would not be surprised if she gets it done in her second start. Looks like all 3 of us would not be surprised, because I've got her second, Ryan's got her third, Jackson, obviously you've got her on top. Ryan, let's go to the 8, who I actually think Jackson had quickly mentioned is one that he's against, but you are not, and that is the Speedy Ridge Gold.
Yeah, this one just looks like the controlling speed up front. Looks like clearly this one has one preferred way of going. So I'll give this one a look. Juan Hernandez sticks aboard. Obviously, that's a vote of confidence. Second time routing, this horse can improve. Faced older for the first time last time out. Did disappoint as the odds-on favorite, but I think can bounce back here in a reasonable spot. I don't want to take too low of a price, but this is a pretty competitive race. So, you might be able to get 7 to 5-ish on this runner, and I think that would be fair considering this one, where she's going to be early. Just got to hope she hangs on late.
Jackson, I screwed up that name, didn't I? Did I say Ridge Gold?
Yeah, you did.
Is it Rida Gold or Ride Gold?
Ride
I can't
Gold.
remember from that. Ride Gold.
Ride Gold.
Rida Gold's even worse.
Yeah, that is.
Jeez, come on, bro.
I was asking you. I didn't know.
Okay.
So, what's even crazier is Ryan's
guys falling apart.
What's even crazier is Ryan is accepting 7 to 5 on this horse in a wide open field. I thought this was tough. But he's one of many that I think can win. Also on the bottom, I added Ryan's 4th horse because he wanted to join the party. Let's talk about the 10. I was very interested in the 10, and for a set of connections that I don't really back all that often, but I think Jackson can maybe help us steer us in the right direction, because boy was she green last time, and I think she's got some ability.
Yeah, I agree. And if there's anyone I want coming out of the race, it's definitely her. That was a merry-go-round race. They crawled on the front end, and she closed. I mean, she did come running late. She just couldn't quite get there. And now she's got that start under her belt. That was going 2 turns first time. I mean, she's probably supposed to move forward. She's definitely getting more pace today with this giant field. And just got to work out a trip. I mean, it's not, again, the 10 post is not easy. I know she's going to be dropping off the back, but still have to navigate traffic, still have to work out a trip. So I like this pick. I don't hate her at all.
I know if I texted our good friend Charlie Freeman and told him that one of my top picks had Jose Valdivia Jr., he would probably block my number. But I'm going with the 10 in a wide open race, and Jackson hits on it. She was closing in a race that just kind of held together. It was really green, and she was a big price, and I think she's going to be another big price on Saturday in a wide open field. So going with the 10. Let's talk about some
also
others.
Also, 46-3 work since then. I mean, that's very unusual for this barn. So there's some things to like.
No, there certainly are. Let's go all the way to the outside, because I've got the 12 and 3rd, and Ryan, you've got her in the mix as well. This is another kind of common race. You've got a couple rivals coming out of this race. The 12 is Ride Elbow Ranch for the Italian, as Doug mentioned, Antonio Fresu and Mark Glatt.
Yeah, this is one I noted last time. Just wait for the stretch out. Gets that today. The dam was a turf router and rather somewhat successful, but at least did it well and consistently. So I wanted to give this one a chance. I think the field best buyer coming out of that last race stretches out around 2 turns, has that running line I like to see. going one turn where they kind of just run in place. That typically gives the indication that they want to stretch out. And then, of course, you get the rider upgrade from Abel Lascano to Antonio Fresu. I know Lascano's been riding great in turf sprints this winter and spring meet at Santa Anita, but Fresu does everything well. Takes the mount from Mark Glatt, who they obviously always have a little bit of success together, hitting it almost 30%. So I wanted this one stretching out. Again, I don't think you're going to get it's not a crazy creative pick by me. I'd be pretty spready in like a late pick 5 sequence. I think you can spread here, spread in the race prior that we talked about, and then you might be able to narrow it down kind of in the earlier parts of that sequence. But this is one I definitely thought deserved a look and should sit a decent trip. It's just going to be on Fresu to save the ground.
And I think so too. And I think just the thing that hurts her mainly is just the outside post. And if she wasn't the outside, if she was more, in the middle of the field down towards the rail, I think I'd like her a lot. So I think she's, very talented and has a chance to maybe overcome some of those obstacles. One more horse that we've got to mention. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Strawberry Tizzy. I believe this was a race that we talked about. Let me guess. That was a race that we talked about, and the winner was liked by someone on the screen. I can't remember who.
This guy.
But this was a first-time starter in that race. That was an open 50, and Jackson McCarthy looks like he liked what he saw from this filly. Protects her into State Bred Company, and stretches her out as well.
Should we all start doing that? Like every time you're scrolling through the form and we see a race that we pick the winner, just stop the show. But
Jackson, you and I don't need to because we can pick winners and also cash on them. Noah's got to just ride this one out because he can only pick them.
Because they're rare. Like it doesn't happen very often. So when
exactly.
Happen, we have to.
You and I, we'd be too busy, man.
Stop the show.
We'd be too busy. It'd be
not
9/10 of this field. We have the winner.
Yeah. Real quick on this horse. Just the horse. I remember our friend Chris Couples had said he liked what he had seen from the morning from this horse, and she took a little bit of money in that maiden claiming race. I'd say that's about equivalent to this state bred maiden special weight level. She ran fine. I mean, she dropped out the back, came running late. Another one that should appreciate more ground, has a much better draw this time, and horses from this barn usually improve. So another one. Depending on the price, we'll probably end up using her.
Yeah, no, I agree. False alarm. We actually have 2 more horses to talk about because these guys have horses in the parentheses. So Ryan, you're gonna go with the 6, and Jax, you're gonna go with the 2. So let's start with you, Ryan.
Yeah, this is one I just wanted to throw in there. This one is from a win early family. Of the 4 offspring, 3 have won first time out. The other one finished in 3rd, so obviously 75% there. This one is kin to a strong turf router. Or actually a few turf routers, I should say. But this one's strongest sibling is the one's full brother, Pure Madness, trained by Brian Corner. That one is 3 for 4, has a win dirt sprinting, dirt routing, turf routing. So can really do whatever is necessary, or a second place finish in that dirt sprint behind Curlin Chaos on that incredibly speed favoring day at Del Mar. But this one I thought deserved a look. You don't see Mike Smith take many mounts anymore that aren't for, top name barns like Bob Baffert. So the fact that he hops on this one makes me think that maybe this one's got a little bit of ability. One I just wanted to kind of shout out just because this one's from a winning family. Mike Smith aboard gives me some reason to like this horse. And I know normally I wouldn't say something like that, but the fact that he takes a mount for a low-level barn or lower-level barn like James Cassidy just kind of raises a couple maybe green flags for me. Small
barn, big price. Jackson, what do you like about the 2?
Just seems like one that's going to take the turf. Just watching her debut, she was very comfortable. Surprisingly, a lot of these dirt horses are not. She was very comfortable behind horses, taking dirt, just trying to wait for a spot to split. And she finally did on the turn. Just kind of ran evenly after that. I just think she's one that's going to appreciate the stretch out. Pipey Barnes been cold. They finally won on Sunday. Somehow ran me down in the last race. That was brutal. But Piper Barnes starting to heat up a little bit. Kimura is in the saddle. Good inside draw. Should be tactical enough to get a decent trip in there. So definitely one that I want to use.
I actually think that was a decent maiden special weight state bred race because Hurricane Layla, I think, was like 6-1 on the line. And just everyone in their mother bet her. And then Tiger Fire's a really nice and fast filly for Corner. I think that number came back pretty good. I think Hurricane Layla got like a 75 or 76. Can't remember. But
someone on the screen had Hurricane Layla that day. I don't remember who it was, but someone did.
There it is.
That wasn't even. Did we even talk about that race?
No, but I had it in the pick 5 and it cashed. If we're playing this game, I want to play 2.
But it's got to be a horse that you actually picked on the show.
No, well, whatever.
Let's go to best bets.
Good
Jackson,
Lord.
you're gonna stay hot, even though we didn't mention him. But race 9, you're going with a double 4 into 3. I think the 4 is Sierra Silver, I believe, and then the 3 is I can't remember that name off the top of my head. I'm sorry.
I got you. Yeah, keeping it simple. Sierra Silver going to win 3 to 5, gate to wire, kind of repeat that field, and then rolling it right into Goliad, who's hopefully they're both loose. Hopefully they both get the front end and take those fields a long, long, long way, because I think Goliad is going to be very tough in there.
I like it. Nice and simple. Good luck. Brian's going with a turf pick 3. He's going 3 by 1 by 1, which Jackson's ticket construction police. I don't know if that would pass. Might get pulled over, but he's going 1, 2, 7 with 7 with 8. That is a $9 ticket for a $3 base. Ryan, how many times are you playing it?
Gonna play it a bunch. Obviously, it's not super creative with those second 2 legs. That's Notorious, and then that horse in the last leg that is you know where early. You know where that horse is going to be. You know him early. I should probably say Ride Gold, Ridge Gold, Rita Gold, however Noah wants to pronounce it this hour. I'll play this one up again. I think this is one of those maiden races, the one that we were just talking about in the finale. A lot of them have something to prove. At least you know where the 8's going to be early. Sometimes it's just as simple as that, where they're going to be able to hang on. So I'll take a shot with this. When I play the late pick 5 as well, I will be spready in that last leg. I'll use a bunch of horses. You guys made some good points on them, mainly Jackson. Noah just wanted to brag about the one winner he's picked this year. But Jackson made a lot of good points on some horses. So I'll take that into consideration as well.
I love it. Good luck with your turf pick 3 and your spready pick 5. I know we've teed up some people on the show. We've paused. We've done a lot of stuff. I'm going to the penalty box. It's 2 minutes for tripping, 5 minutes for fighting. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to the penalty box. I'm going with a win bet in race 9 on the number 3 penalty box. So I think it's going to be a decent price. So good luck to me, because I know I won't get it from the other 2. So
Good luck.
I think that is going to
Good luck.
wrap things up. Terry's got a great comment in the chat. He just says brutal. Yeah, it really is brutal, Terry. Being out here with these kids, it's quite interesting every time we suit things up on 6:30 at Tuesday night. So I think that will wrap things up. Any of you boys got any final thoughts for us?
Yeah. Yesterday, Noah drove the green on a par 4 and got an eagle. So everyone say good job, Noah.
There we go. Way to go, Whiter Woods. I'm proud of you.
Nice thing about you today.
Only thing I got to say is obviously I was just out at Saratoga. I had a good handful of people come up to us and say how much they love our show with the 3 of us. So first, we're the best show on the HHH Racing Pod. I don't think that's up for debate.
No.
But they came up to us and they love the way that we all give each other a bunch of shit all day. So way to go to you boys. Way to take it as much as you deal it out. And no, I'm excited to see you on XBTV on those morning works here coming up for Del Mar.
I'm expecting an email. Maybe I need to check my phone after we're done from Dougie. Maybe he's going to reach out so I can maybe work some of those 2-year-olds that he's interested in. But looking forward to that. This has been episode 33 of Pacific Horseplayers, covering the Santa Anita late pick 5 and having a little chat with our good friend Doug O'Neill about Raging Torrent and his Met Mile win. Check us out next week and all of our shows this week. And of course, PHP out.